Hello, my name is Jean Jackson, and I have a very important task. I have to introduce Meg Jones. When I was deciding what to write about Meg, she was of absolute no help, saying, "It's okay, you don't have to write me an introduction. I'm not giving a speech." Yet, here we are. So, I wrote her an introduction the only way I knew how, in the form of a poem. Meg loves Zara and her dog, Baby Ginge. Her bad jokes and even worse stories make me cringe. I fear for the end of this intro because she doesn't like hugs, and I love the way she never cleaned up the oatmeal she dropped from her coffee mug. But above all else, Meg is one of a kind because she is Nutmeg, Meggles, and Megan, depending on the time. So give it up for Meg, the girl with the purple feet, and trust me when I say you are in for a special treat. Sarah Margaret Jones.
I have an impeccable memory. Ever since I was little, I could always remember the most random things, like people's pets' names, where they went for spring break that one year, or even what someone had for lunch on any given day. But most importantly, I can remember conversations. I can recall them from memory instantly, and I remember every little word that was said and the tone in which it was said. Back in middle school, I was super sensitive, and I took everything said to heart, and I let the words stick to me. When I got upset over dumb things, people would always tell me, "Meg, stop being so sensitive," and as a result, this would make me upset as well. Over the course of my middle school career, I began to become more and more quiet and reclusive because I felt that all the words that were said to me were dragging me down. I was most comfortable being alone at home. I started pushing my friends away, and soon enough, only one of my only friends was my dog, Ginger. Ginger was and is possibly the best dog on the planet. She is kind and thoughtful and the best listener. I would talk to her and no, she didn't respond, but I think that is what I liked about having her as my only company. If she could not speak, then there were no words said that could hurt me. Soon enough, I learned not to take everything to heart, and I grew out of this reclusive state and tried not to care or think about things that were said to me or about me. But this was and still is a very hard thing to do, not just for me, but for everyone. I overanalyze every little thing that is said to me. Maybe this is my being overly sensitive, or it could just be me being Meg. My mom would always tell me that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But I'm sorry to say, Mom, you're wrong. Unlike what Christina Aguilera famously says in her song Beautiful, I strongly believe that words can in fact bring you down. Mean words are like tiny daggers that puncture our skin and minds and make us feel small. Positive and negative words both have an extremely powerful influence on our minds, so why do we choose to use the meaner, more disrespectful words when there are far more kind and positive words in the English language? Don't get me wrong, I have used my fair share of mean words. I have judged others and I have put others down to build myself up. I have been mean. As I said earlier, I remember everything I have said and everything I have done. I have not forgotten the mean things that I have said, and I am truly sorry for saying them, and I regret saying them. But you can't deny it. We have all done it. Back in middle school, I was bossy and a tattletale and flat out annoying. But those girls that I didn't get along with back then are my absolute best friends today. We have all said things that we do not mean, so why do you say it in the first place? How would you feel if someone called you ugly? How would you feel if someone called you fat? I can tell you that you would probably feel terrible. You know how it's going to make that person feel, so why do we do it? Why do we say it? Even though my mom was wrong about the whole sticks and stones thing, she was correct about this. If you do not have anything nice to say, don't say it. You have to be mindful in what you say and how you say it, because it takes a million compliments to build each of us up, but one insult can send us crashing down. A few weeks ago, I asked Miss Ray if anyone flat out refused to write and deliver a senior speech, and she told me that no, that has never happened. And I responded with, well, there's a first for everything. I did not want to stand up here and deliver a speech. There are roughly 500 people in this room right now, give or take, and that is roughly 1,000 little eyes looking right at me. And behind those eyes are large minds that in my mind are forming judgments about me right now. I wish I could stand up here and tell you that I do not care what is thought of me, but that is not true. I constantly have to remind myself that in order to be happy, I must try not to be concerned with what others think of me. I encourage all of you to try and do the same and to choose kind and positive words rather than negative words. And I leave you with this. You must be careful with your words because once they are said, they can only be forgiven. They are never forgotten. Thank you.